Have you ever just stopped and wondered how your own body, this unbelievably complex machine, actually works? It's not just some random collection of parts, It's a beautifully, almost perfectly organized system. So let's dive in and see how it all comes together, starting from the tiniest building blocks all the way up to you. And that brings us to the really big question we're going to tackle. How on earth is it possible that life starts with something totally microscopic and then builds itself up into a living, breathing, thinking person? It almost feels like magic, right? But the secret, it isn't magic at all. It's all about organization. And here's our game plan. Think of it like we're climbing a ladder of complexity, and it has 4 main rungs. We're going to start at the very bottom with a cell, then build our way up through tissues, then organs, and finally the entire organ systems that keep you going every single day. Let's jump in at the foundation.
So our first stop is the cell. The best way to think about it is like a single brick in a giant house. You just can't build anything without that first brick, and every single living thing on this planet relies on them.
Okay, so just to give you a sense of scale here, how many of these bricks do you think you're made of? Hundreds? Thousands? Not even close. You are built from trillions of cells. Trillions. Each one is like a tiny little worker with its own specific job to do. The scale is it's absolutely mind-boggling when you think about it.
And here's the most important thing to remember. A cell is the smallest possible thing that we can officially call alive. It is the fundamental unit. Just like a single brick is still, a brick, a single cell is the smallest, most complete unit of life. Now, some organisms, like bacteria, are perfectly happy just being one single cell. We call them unicellular. But for complex critters like plants, animals, and us, one cell just isn't going to cut it. We're multicellular, which means we're made of countless cells that all have to cooperate. And that cooperation, that brings us to our next level up.
Okay, so a single cell is great, but to do the bigger, more complicated jobs, you need a team. It turns out, cells with similar skills can band together to become way more powerful and efficient than they could ever be on their own.
And this team of cells, it has a name. It's called a tissue. A tissue is just a group of similar cells all working together on one specific job, becoming true specialists at whatever it is they do.
Think about it like this. All the cells in your muscle tissue have one single job: to contract and create movement. That's it. And all the cells in your nervous tissue are designed for one purpose: to zap electrical signals around and carry messages all through your body. That's what I call teamwork on a cellular level.
Okay, so we've got our teams of specialized cells, our tissues. But what happens when you need to pull off a really complex task, something that requires a bunch of different skills? Well, that's when you bring different teams together to form our third level, organs.
So an organ is basically a structure where different types of tissues, those specialized teams we were just talking about, all collaborate on a bigger, more complex mission. It's the next major step up in biological engineering. Your heart is the perfect example of this. It's not just one type of tissue. It needs that powerful muscle tissue to do the heavy lifting of pumping blood, right? But it also needs nervous tissue to tell it when to pump. These different tissues have to work in perfect harmony to make that organ function. Pretty amazing.
And your body is just full of these incredible structures. You've got the brain coordinating everything, the lungs handling every single breath, and the stomach breaking down your food. Each one is a little marvel of different tissues all working in concert. So we've built cells into tissues and tissues into organs, but we're not quite done yet. To run an entire organism, an entire person, you need an even higher level of coordination. You need entire systems that are dedicated to the major functions of the body. And this is the final level, the top of the ladder, the organ system. An organ system is a group of different organs that all chip in for one huge overarching goal, like digesting your food or circulating your blood. It's really the big picture level of organization.
I mean, just take the digestive system. It's not just your stomach. It's your mouth, your esophagus, your intestines. It's a whole team of organs all working together. The same goes for your respiratory system, your circulatory system, and even the skeletal system that gives you your shape and support.
So we've climbed the entire ladder from a single lonely cell all the way up to a complete functioning system. Now, let's use a really simple analogy just to make sure this whole incredible blueprint for life really sticks. And this analogy just makes it all click, doesn't it? A single student is like a cell. A group of students in one class, that's like a tissue. A whole department, like the science department, is like an organ. And the entire school, with all its different departments working together, that's the organ system. See? Simple.
So at this point, you might be asking, okay, I get it. It's all organized, but so what? Why does any of this actually matter? Why is being organized so important? And that is a fantastic question, because the answer is the key to how complex life even possible.
This organization is everything. It's what allows a living thing to be incredibly efficient. By dividing up all the jobs, everything gets done better and faster. This kind of specialization is what allows for complex actions like growth and movement. It makes reproduction possible, and it helps you respond to what's happening around you. Without this structure, a complex body just couldn't function. It would be total chaos.
So let me leave you with a final thought. The next time you just look down at your own hands, I want you to remember that trillions of cells forming tissues, those tissues building organs, and all those organs working together in complex systems. All of it cooperating perfectly every single second. So what's the most amazing organized system you can think of? Maybe, just maybe, it's the one you're living in right now.